Hi, welcome to the Heidi Show, exploring metaphysical and holistic concepts. It's great to have you here at the beginning of April. We're beyond April's Fools, so I won't try to joke you too much. We have a wonderful psychic here today, and before I introduce her, we're going to talk about the astrology for the week. And as you probably all know, we're in the sun sign of Aries, and right now, at this moment, we have the moon in Pisces. So our heads, our hearts are still a little bit slow and watery, and we don't really want to take all that action that we sort of feel compelled to make. But just wait till tomorrow, 9:22 tomorrow, Monday morning. The moon goes into Aries, and it's no holds barred. It's just charge ahead energy. And we also have 3 planets in Taurus right now, and we'll have a 4th one going in next week, and it's all lining up for the Taurus alignment in May. I don't know if you've heard about it, but we'll have 7 planets in Taurus around May 3rd, and it's quite a spectacle, and we're getting ready for that. It's already putting itself into place. So the thing to do with this combined 3 planets in Aries, 3 planets in Taurus, is to really focus our attention on what we truly want. Aries is a very directed sign. It's again an action sign. So starting tomorrow, we'll really feel like we have to take action, like we have to move. So just be clear about where you're going. Really focus in on what you truly, truly want for your life. We have a new moon in Aries. That means that the moon and sun are conjunct at 15 degrees Aries on Tuesday at 12:12 p.m. That's April 4th. And this is a good time to do exactly what I just said, because it's the seed the seed point. The new moon is where we start, and then the full moon is where we blossom. So it's really a good time to really be mindful of the seed that you're planting. And then we've got the Mars conjunct Jupiter in Taurus on Thursday, and this will be almost like a gift-giving time. Our sense of abundance and our sense of getting the rewards for what we've been planning on for many months and possibly years will start to have fruition. We should feel very lucky on Thursday, and we may actually have physical evidence of this. It'll be really nice. And there's an ongoing quincunx, which is a 150-degree aspect. I didn't tell you Mars and Jupiter conjunct means they're exactly together. It's a 0-degree aspect. But we also have a Pluto quincunx that's 150 degrees, aspecting Mars and Jupiter. So this intensifies that gift-giving time. It should be really spectacular, and it's a really good way to bring in, to come into this Taurus energy. Very upbeat, very motivated, and really creating with the planet. Co-creatorship is what it's all about. So enjoy the week, and we have Darlene McKnight here with us, and Darlene is a Reiki master, and I'm going to ask you about that, and a quantum healing facilitator, a medical intuitive, and a nationally known master psychic and multisensory. And I really, really thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for asking me.
Oh, you're welcome. Why don't we start with Reiki? Those that know about it know quite a bit about it, and then it's a brand new word for a lot of people. So what is Reiki?
Reiki is a very ancient, hands-on, pardon me, healing art. It's non-invasive, very gentle, and energy comes through the practitioner into the recipient and generally flows through the body, goes to wherever it's needed. I don't believe that it can do any harm to anyone ever, and it's a very, very powerful, very loving tool.
And you not only practice this, you also teach it, right?
Yes.
And how many levels are there to Reiki?
Well, in the Ushui method, there's we have Reiki 1, 2, and 3. Reiki 3 is master's level.
Okay.
And then I teach a course in advanced energy, which is mainly intention and awareness. Because as you are working on people, if you are intuitive at all, you will be picking up a lot of signals from them, depending on the level of your intuitive gifts.
Well, assuming that most of us haven't taken these classes, like I haven't, I'd love to take the beginning Reiki and see what it's all about. But until we do, is there something you could tell the audience about how to clear your mind so that you can receive something clearly, receive a message, or?
Once again, I believe it has a whole lot to do with your intention, and we advised breathing deeply, relaxing, being open to the energy,
Okay.
not being fearful. It's a very loving thing. I think everybody in the world should have Reiki 1. It's just it changed my life considerably.
Really?
Yes.
And you had been a psychic for years already.
Well, I am what's known as a natural. That means I was born with gifts, I guess is what we would say. But until I had Reiki 1, my energy was just sort of spotty. There was a lot of it, but it was just, sort of like static electricity, I guess you could say. But with Reiki 1, it focused it. It became a very, very powerful balancing tool for me. It was a wonderful experience.
And so now you're able to get clutter out and focus in on a question or an answer that you're looking for?
Most of the time. I mean, there are some times where people are blocked, and if they are blocked, I won't work with them for too awfully long. I mean, if they're blocking themselves, and if I can't be of assistance to them, people basically heal themselves. God's energy and their energy heals them. I've just been allowed to have energy come through me and be able to assist on this, but it's a wonderful feeling. And when the energy comes through me, it's also a gift to me because I get the benefit as it passes through. So it's a win-win situation for me.
Now this reminds me of something I've heard through Buddhist philosophy. When you bless someone else, you're actually blessing yourself. So when you're doing a healing for somebody, you're actually enhancing your own energy, right?
Yes.
Which is a very different way of doing. Some psychics just give and give and give until they're sick.
I've been there, done that. And that tends to drain you and make you very, very tired. If you're doing it correctly, you should not really be tired. Your personal physical energy, of course, is limited. You can't run 24 hours a day.
Okay.
But the universal energy, the loving energy that comes through you when you're working is just, it's endless. It's just there forever.
Wow. Can I ask you some psychic questions?
You can ask them. I don't know if I can answer them.
Okay. I know so many people right now that came here as light workers, knowing they were supposed to be here, and now they're sort of wondering if their purpose is over here, and they're thinking of moving. And I'm wondering if you have any intuition about, is it planetary? Is it just the people I know? Am I attracting that kind of person, or?
Well, what's happening now is, we speak, when I start getting profound, it's not me. I channel, and a lot of the information I get is channeled information. I don't normally trance or anything like that, but what I'm told, and I'm one of those people that has, I'm constantly wondering what's going on, what's happening. I was brought here for a reason, and I think there's a lot of us that are in this shape right now where we're not sure what's going on, but there still is a purpose. And I think May is going to be a really big, decisive month for a lot of us on this level.
Beginning, middle, end of May?
I think by the beginning of May, a lot of us are going to know a whole lot more than we do now. It seems that there's an awful lot of people in an awful lot of personal turmoil right now that are having to deal with very difficult areas in their life, generally speaking. And I think by the 1st of May, and maybe even a little sooner, I think actually beginning this month, things are going to start forming a little tighter and coming together a little clearer. But up till this point, there has just been mass confusion for all kinds of people, including me. I keep saying, okay, you know something I don't know.
The reason I was asking you to be that specific is because it seems like a month's worth of activity and integration happens in a week these days.
There was a major shift for me personally on the level that I work probably last Thursday or Friday. I don't know exactly what it was, and I didn't question it. It just really felt good. So, and I'm all for that. But it's just like now, any information that I'm receiving seems to be very positive. It's just like we're coming to it. Don't give up is the general idea. And it's going to become a lot clearer to all of us on a lot of different levels. What we have to do is we have to be open to the information. I think where we get in trouble is every once in a while, ego jumps in there and we try to figure it out and take care of everything the way we think it needs to be taken care of. And a lot of time, what appears to be disasters to us in our personal life, on down the road, you'll see that it was just a way of stopping us from doing what we shouldn't have been doing. I don't think there are any really terribly wrong paths. Or if we're there, we don't stay there very long. Something knocks us off them, whether we want to be there or not.
Do you think before we're born we're in total alignment with our soul's purpose, our soul's path?
I believe so. I think the problem arises that we don't know when we get here. Someone erases the tapes. So I believe there is a plan. And as I understand it, different things are supposed to happen. But because we are of free will, sometimes we don't follow the original plan. And so we go here or we go here. We go maybe the wrong place, but God, nature, whatever we want to call this, will bring us back to try to get us to the right place, to do what it is our purpose here to do. And part of that purpose is to help one another and to love one another.
I'm compelled to ask you, what is it with the amnesia on the planet? Why is the planet that way?
I'm told it's a learning experience.
Yeah.
And the only way that we learn a lot of times is through experience. And I know on some of when I channel Isu, or when I deal with some of the beings that communicate with me, they actually study, because we are the only place around that is so radically feeling and so emotional, and we are so full of it, whatever it translates to be, where possibly others that are able to communicate with us are very far advanced, but they've lost contact with that very, very passionate feeling nature. And that's a plus and a minus for us sometimes, depending on where we're at in our life.
But that actually makes us the focus of interest, if not admiration, of these other
Well,
beings.
yes, definitely.
So what we see often is possibly even a curse is actually, again, a blessing.
Well, a lot of times, this is very simplistic, but sometimes we would not know to appreciate some of the wonderful things that are in our lives if we didn't have to go trip and crash every once in a while on some other level. And maybe I don't have the answer, and nobody that communicates seems to be willing to tell me the answer, but I think it's very important that we understand and be very aware of everything that goes on around us and what we are doing and how important. Some little thing we may do, some little nasty word or some unkind thing we may do, it may seem like just a silly little glitch or something funny in a moment, but it can have very, very big effects on somebody else. So I think it's a learning experience, and I think there's some lines of psychology that say God is experiencing life through us.
Right.
That we are like the fingers and that. I don't know if that is correct, because my personal beliefs are more that we are here to experience, to learn, to evolve, to bring our own level of vibration up, to do a specific good for ourselves and our planet.
So that makes us sort of like emissaries.
You could say that.
And I wanted to ask you about the channeled beings. You've mentioned Isu. Is that your favorite, or the one that comes to you most frequently?
Well, that's the only one that ever had me typing at a typewriter That was Isu. Isu's been around a long time for me. I mean, of course, they've been around a long time, period. But let's just say they're the most wordy.
Oh, okay.
In healing, I don't know that I'm working with them in particular because there's other factors that play into that. But for wisdom and sort of profound things, it's usually Isu.
And has Isu told you anything lately, or is he telling you anything now that... We never know who's watching, but Isu would know.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, Isu only seems to. Actually, Isu is here. Everybody's here around here, and as I say, my gifts change when I have the low-grade fevers.
Oh, okay.
And I don't really. I guess I've never asked who's doing what when. Some, if I see them, I can recognize them. Others, with Isu, I just see little strange bumps in the stratosphere. I don't know, but it's thoughts.
Yeah.
But they're very knowledgeable thoughts. They're very, very loving thoughts as a rule. I believe you were there when I read the channeled message from Isu.
And you brought that tonight, didn't you?
I did, yes.
Would you like to read a part of that now? Is it accessible?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course, I do the medical intuitive without glasses, but I can't read without them. So.
And when did you channel this?
I believe this was in October. I wouldn't swear to it. I don't really keep track of these things. So much is going on all the time. I just kind of play it by ear.
And this wasn't automatic writing, this was automatic typing.
This was, yes, I went to sit at the computer to do some work on my book, and I spent the next, I don't even know how long, doing about 3,000 words, which actually frightened me.
Really?
Because I thought I'd finally gone round the bend on this. And it was called The Beginning of the Beginning. Greetings to our most beloved. We come to you through many, often to touch the few who will hear. Each day more of you work to shed the veil which has held you captive in fear, sorrow, and despair. Each day this loving gesture helps to raise the individual planetary vibration wherein lies your bliss. This day we come through our woman. There is a soft and gentle chuckle, who is not always understanding what is happening to her. She is mixed in her human, this plane, and her spiritual, the other, belongings. Sometimes this allows her the illusion of great distress and confusion, and etc. We won't read about me.
Can I ask about you, though? Do you mind if I interrupt?
Nope.
Well, I just understand that according to the spiritual evolution that's going on right now, that most people in metaphysics would acknowledge, psychic abilities are opening up for everybody.
Yes.
What can you tell people about these new gifts that are coming to them? Sometimes they're scary, aren't they?
They're always scary.
Oh, okay.
But they're very wonderful. Enjoy them, appreciate them, be aware of them. We all carry these abilities to some degree. Some of us are just more open to it and are more comfortable with it. It took me most of my life to become fairly comfortable with it. In fact, it's only the last few years that I've been comfortable with them. And since they're always around, it was either adjust to them and work with them. And it's worked out very well, but everybody has them to a degree. It's just a being aware and keeping your intentions clear too.
And that's a big one, especially if you're having these new phenomena happen and you're getting fearful.
Yes. When I started speaking translatable Latin, that was, what, about a year ago, December.
Wow.
Since I don't speak Latin, it was frightening.
Yeah.
When people start seeing things or are sensing things or knowing things, there's a whole lot of that precognition stuff going on right now.
Right.
And well, it's always been here, but people are becoming more aware of it. Maybe it's because of all of the television, we have so much electrical force going through everything now. If I'm really upset, I can walk through a room and have calculators turn on. That doesn't upset me, it does anybody who's around.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just so much is happening now. The vibrational rate is changing so swiftly.
Right.
And you just need to relax with it and not be afraid of it, because it's a natural part of your being. You want to keep yourself clear. You want to keep yourself grounded as best we can.
Mm-hmm.
I don't advise people playing with things like Ouija boards or anything like that. You want to keep things clean.
Right.
Just as there's a lot of wonderful things out there, I guess we could probably manifest some dark things. I don't know. I don't deal in any of that. But if you're coming from love, and love doesn't mean I love you, I want to control you.
Right.
Love means I love you and I want you to be your best for you,
Mm-hmm.
not for me. And if you're coming from that love, you're going to probably do really well, and there's nothing to be afraid of. I have a grandchild that's very, very gifted.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, his parents, while they're not thrilled with it, they're not saying, don't do this, which is, my parents would have much preferred I played a piano.
Rather than your imaginary friends?
Yes, and now the wonderful thing is now I know my imaginary friends were real, in some sense of the word.
Right. And we're going to take a break here and introduce a very real physical friend here. Deborah MacArthur is going to be playing the guitar and singing along, and we're really pleased to have you here, and I hope everyone at home enjoys this. Deborah MacArthur.
Thank you very much. Good evening. This is a song about traveling and about being free to do what you feel like doing. It's called On the Loose. On the loose to climb a mountain, on the loose where I am free, on the loose to live my life the way I think my life should be. For I only have a moment and the whole world left to see. I'll be searching for tomorrow on the loose. Have you ever seen the sunset turn the sky completely red? Have you slept beneath the moon and stars with a pine bough for your head? Have you ever talked with friends, though a word was never said? Then you're like me and you've been on the loose. On the loose to climb a mountain, on the loose where I am free, on the loose to live my life the way I think my life should be. For I only have a moment and the whole world left to see. I'll be searching for tomorrow on the loose. There's a trail I may be hiking just to see where it might go. Many places yet to visit and many people yet to know. And in following my dreams, I will live and I will grow on the trail that's waiting out there on the loose. On the loose to climb a mountain, on the loose I am free. On the loose I live my life the way I think my life should be. For I only have a moment and the whole world left to see. Well, I'll be searching for tomorrow on the loose. In search of love and laughter, I will travel this wide land, never knowing where I'm going, because I haven't any plans. But But anytime that you are ready, come and join me, take my hand, and together we'll explore life on the loose. On the loose, to climb a mountain. On the loose, where I am free. On the loose, I live my life the way I think my life should be. For I only have a moment, the whole world left to see. I'll be searching for tomorrow on the loose. Thank you. This next song is also about a time that I was on the loose, backpacking, and well, you'll find out about it. It was a long trail, climbing switchbacks that'll lead me to my mountain lake, up more switchbacks. Oh, switchbacks. I've got citronella perfume, I'm packing pine needles under my boots, blue bandanas around my neck, and I'm munching on dried fruits. Climbing switchbacks that'll lead to the mountain lake, up more switchbacks. Oh, I feel so great. Well, I'm hiking through marshy meadows, burnt forest, oaks, and open rock. I dive into the cool fresh water, dry in the sun, and then I walk up more switchbacks that'll lead to the mountain lake, up more switchbacks. Oh, switchbacks. Well, I study the life and colors on the trails, looping lizards, chickadees, and ferns. Plant firs, lichens too, there's so much still to learn as I climb those switchbacks that lead to the mountain lake, up more switchbacks. And oh, I feel so great. Well, at peace with the world is where we'll be when I feel the wildest tranquility. Sharing my love and this ecstasy with the wonderful friends surrounding me. We climb those switchbacks, up more switchbacks. I'm sitting by a waterfall, writing this song, and I feel the mountain breeze. Looking out on the dramatic view from under the shade of a glorious tree. I climbed those switchbacks that led to this mountain lake, up switchbacks. Oh, 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 I climbed those switchbacks. Thank you. This last song I'm going to play is about a river and about the cycles of the earth. It happened one day on a mountain so high. A river was born from out of the sky. The rain and the snow came falling to the ground, and they started to run as they hit the ground. They said, "Roo-pop-a-shoosh, rumble-y-pound." The White Rabbit River makes a wonderful sound. Roo-pop-a-shoosh, rumble-y-pound. A White Rapid River makes a wonderful sound. over beds made of granite. It swept and it rolled. It was narrow and steep, and so icy cold. It carved out a valley, and it gorged out the land. It carried small rocks, and it ground them to sand. It said, "Roop up the shoosh, rumbly pound." A white rapid river makes a wonderful sound. Roop up the shoosh, rumbly pound. A white rapid river makes a wonderful sound. It filled up a lake and was still for one day. But then the wide river went along on its way. It rolled past some rocks and some banks lined with trees. It carried small boats of fall-colored leaves. It said, "Roop up the shoosh, rumbly pound." That wide rapid river makes a wonderful sound. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deborah. That's Deborah MacArthur, played and sang beautifully. Deborah's going to be on the move this summer, so if anyone would like to get in contact with her, they can contact us through the show, or contact Deborah through the show, and the number for us is 829-9162. And I did want to tell you we're live here at MCAT in downtown Missoula at the MCAT studios, and the number here for anyone who's interested in doing anything here, they do training for cameras and lighting and editing and all sorts of wonderful programs. The number here is 542-MCAT, 542 M as in Mary, CAT. And somebody who's not in our credits, but I really want to thank, is Lori Hudak. She's an MCAT staff member who helps us out every week and makes this happen. And last week it was a taped show, and I wasn't sure who the musical guest was, but he was wonderful. They edited him in later. His name was Sumner McCain, and I really want to thank you, Sumner. It was beautiful guitar playing. And Darlene McKnight is the woman, the psychic, the channeler here with us tonight. And her phone number, if you'd like to get a hold of her, is 406-549-5818. It's 406-549-5818. And we're back with Darlene, and I don't know if you noticed all the clapping, but we have a studio audience today, so we might take some questions from them, if you'll say that's okay, Darlene?
That's okay.
Okay. Well, let me ask right now, does anybody have a question? Okay, why don't you come on up? I happen to know everyone in the studio audience tonight, so this will be Marge. And we're doing a little mic swapping here. And this should work out just fine. Thanks, Marge.
Well, I just wanted to ask Darlene, you must have noticed the changes that are happening in Missoula right now. And do you have anything to say about that? I know that your life is changing, like everyone else's. Do you feel that what you have come here to accomplish has been accomplished, and now you can pretty much do, you have more control over what you would like to do?
No. No, actually, there's a lot of things that I get it in my mind that I want to do, and it's sort of taken care of. I mean, there's enough blocks, holes in the ground or other things that keep me. There's work that is to be done. I imagine that it can be done elsewhere, but the vibrational changes that are coming here now are just continuing to grow and grow and grow. It's incredible as more and more people become aware and as more and more people have their intentions clearer and better, the vibration just keeps changing. It's, and I'm pleased to say that for the most part, it's positive changes. Sometimes we slip back a little bit, but by and large, I think we're going to get to where we need to be, and I just don't think we've gotten there yet here.
Do you think the rest of the planet is shifting as quickly as Missoula?
Well, actually, I was just going to say one thing and got another another thing just shifted in. No, not every place is. Some areas, now I'm actually, right now I'm channeling, okay. But what I'm being told is that the density of certain areas, the density of negativity or the feelings or the different things have slowed some areas down considerably. There's a lot of cleaning up to be done there. I'm getting atmosphere, but the area here, the energy levels are, the vibrations are changing very quickly. Pardon me, but I'm trying to translate what's coming through my head. But it's, there is a much stronger vibrational rate. Here, places in New Mexico, there's some on the continent, I'm not getting it really clearly right now, but Missoula is a very, very powerful energy source right now.
It is. And could we just assume that maybe larger cities would be some of these denser energies? Or have some of these denser energies?
Yes, there's a lot of that, and then there are other pockets of heavy density. In my mind, I'm just seeing them as what, if we were talking about going out into space, would be referred to as almost like black holes. All I see is darkness in some of these places as what I'm seeing now. And as you're asking the things, I'm just telling you what's coming through.
Okay. And I think we have another question, and this one will be from Stephanie.
Thank you. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about the vibrational aspect of what you're talking about. I know that all of us are working to raise our vibrational frequency. I thought maybe you could share some things that we could do to sort of help that along. One of the things that I found works the best for me is through love, like you spoke of earlier. And so I thought maybe you could share some other things possibly that we could all do to help that along a little bit. Thank you.
Okay. Basically, truly, it's all about love. When we're angry, when we're terribly distraught or upset, we change our vibrational rate then too. And it's not really, it slows us down, it puts us back. But when we are practicing from a universal point of love, vibration changes. It's just like if you go into a room where people are happy, you feel good. If you go into a room where everyone's disgruntled or angry or all this, either you become disgruntled or angry, you're very uncomfortable, or you leave.
Right.
It's sort of like the more there is of whatever vibration it is, you either work to change it or you add to it to help it grow. So it works both on negative or positive. But there seems to be a lot of positive vibrational levels happening. Those of us, as we practice more loving kindness to one another and less judgment. Judgment's a biggie. Of course they say saying judgment, and then, you've just made a judgment when you've said judgment. But basically, if we can work a little kinder and not be quite so judgmental, we don't have to agree with everything that's going on, but I'm talking to Stephanie here
right.
directly.
Right.
But it's very important that we try to keep our vibrational level up. And with every good thing that we do, including loving ourselves. I mean, if you don't love yourself, you're not going to do real well at loving other things. Right. But it comes along, and that changes the vibration of the individual, and as that goes on, pretty soon that's the next person or the group, and then it just keeps getting larger and larger. And then pretty soon you're affecting a town, you know, a city, a state, and hopefully the planet. And in many ways we have a lot of violence now, but it's very important that we put as much love out there as we can. It just helps in general.
And we have another person with a question. And I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name.
Sean.
Sean. Thank you
Hey,
for
Darlene. I just wondered if you would maybe fill in a little bit of what you were talking about earlier as far as things that are accelerated and whatnot, and for maybe some of those folks out there like me that aren't sure what to do. Maybe you have some advice to that we could practice daily in some way to facilitate that.
Okay.
Thanks, Sean.
One of the most important things that I try to do, first thing in the morning and the last thing at night, is I put myself in a circle. I visualize a circle around me of just light and love. And I think it works, but it usually will keep me a little bit better prepared to go out and deal with the other parts of life that aren't always so spiritual or so pleasant. Mm-hmm. And it's very, very important to have a little time every day, if at all possible, even if it's just 5 minutes, to maybe ground yourself, to settle down, to try to meditate a little bit, to let go of some of the angers and resentments that we pick up during the day, I guess you might say. If you can get yourself grounded and in your circle of light and love, I think that a lot of times that will help see you through a lot of things. And it's just real important for all of us to do this instead of charging off into whatever, and then we get scattered. I think that's the big thing, is we get out there, we get scattered, and then we really don't know what to do.
It's amazing to me sometimes how obvious and simple some of the tools are. We breathe in, I don't know how many thousands of times every day, and if we just consciously, mindfully breathe in 3 times, it can
Very
change
true.
our entire energy. And here we've got this tool going constantly, and all we have to do is work with it, and it's there.
Most people don't breathe, including me. I mean, you know, you breathe very shallowly. Mm-hmm. But if you'll take deep breaths and slowly do it, you can lower your blood pressure, you can calm yourself right down, slow your pulse down, and get a better grip on things so that then you can go out and do whatever you need to do during the day. Mm-hmm. and feel better about it. Doesn't mean we all do it all the time, and I think a lot of us from time to time do lose control of it because we get caught up in the drama of life. Mm-hmm. And that's where most of us get in trouble. That's where ego comes in, and we get caught up in the drama, and we kind of forget what maybe we started out to do because we're caught up in all this drama that's exploding everywhere around us. And the next thing you know, all it is drama, and maybe we don't even know what we started to do in the first place. Right. And it's just like when I'm working with someone, and I pick up visuals when I'm working on someone. I see what they experience. Now, if I don't watch it and I get caught up in the drama of it, I'm no good to them, and I'm sure not any good to me, and I just add to the chaos. So it's very important for all of us to try to stay grounded and stay aware of who we are and what it is we're really doing, and not get caught up in the drama of all the emotions. Feelings change like in 5 minutes, mm-hmm. or less.
Or less, yeah.
You know, I mean, you can be feeling one way 1 minute and 3 seconds. Look at a child, that's a good thing, you know. Mm-hmm. And inside we're basically, the little child is alive in all of us. So, I don't know if that answered the question.
Thank you.
I have a question about the services you provide as a psychic. Do you believe in past lives? Do you work with past lives?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
It's very strange as the gifts have come and they've increased. As I've relaxed into them, then they've increased. I can't explain it really. It just happens. With me, it's low-grade fevers, and once I have for a week or two, I'll have low-grade fevers, and then there'll be some new thing all of a sudden I'm doing, whether it's channeling or speaking through the veil or speaking Latin, just different little things. But there's just so many things you learn. I did not believe in reincarnation or past life experiences because I was raised not to believe in that.
Right.
But when I started experiencing and seeing some of my own, and then when I'm working on someone and all of a sudden we're there, and it ties into something in their life now. And actually, I know I didn't do anything in this life for some of the things that have gone on. So I find it a very comforting thing, and I do definitely believe that we've all shared it, and I think we've all known each other. And I think that we will continue to go on until we get to wherever it is we're going.
And so if there are these ongoing lives, past, present, future, if there even is a real timeline, but consecutive, concurrent lifetimes, this has been coming to me recently. Missoula has been a great teacher about need fulfillment.
Yes.
I lived in a big city before where needs could be met very quickly, very, very quickly, and that doesn't happen for me in Missoula. But it's been very interesting because it's taught me, well, what do I want this life based on? Need, want fulfillment, wish fulfillment, or do I want it to be something larger, something outside of this life loop, And so it's been a great teacher in that way. My own thing on lifetimes and reincarnation. I also wanted to ask, can you see your own past lives?
Rarely. Once in a while, something will happen. I have sort of reoccurring dreams that have nothing to do with this life. Mm-hmm. And then when I have had somebody work with me on past lives, I'm very, very comfortable with them now. But some of the same, I don't know whether we'd call them beings or whatever they were, but that were with me then are still with me now. Mm-hmm. Evidently they wear better than I do, but they're still there. And I don't know, it's kind of, when I refer to it as tripping into one. Mm-hmm. And just all of a sudden you're there with visuals. But for my own past lives, it's usually working with someone else. On that, but with other people, when I'm working, very seldom do I go with the intention. That's why I say quantum facilitator, because that means we don't know what's going to happen. It's wherever we go together on that particular thing.
Full of potential.
Yes.
And I hope it's okay if I share this. You also have gotten spirits to relocate out of homes?
Yes. That was just a few weeks ago. I had never actually done that before.
Okay.
But someone asked
another
me
new.
Another new experience. One nice thing is my memory book is really good. Lots of neat things happen. There was a place that was bothered by a lot of things happened to equipment and stuff in it, and it just didn't feel good. And so for a couple of months, someone was talking to me if I might go there. And so I said, sure. And we did. And it was very easy to locate the problem place mm-hmm. in the house. And the visuals were pretty incredible for me.
Yeah.
It didn't take very long to do that part of it. And the house is now occupied, the room is now occupied, and it feels probably 1,000 times better.
It's occupied by a person in a body?
By a real person in a body,
okay.
A physical being. The people who were going to move into the house are able to use that room now.
And what kind of entity was it that was there? Was it a ghost?
It was I don't see things as usually like, well, I guess I do see them, but I don't call them ghosts.
Okay.
It was someone who had passed on there, but did not realize they were dead.
Oh, that sounds really traumatic.
For that person, it was
Yeah.
very traumatic, and they were very angry. But it was an interesting experience, and they didn't actually leave until probably about 15 minutes after we were gone. I got the visual of when they actually physically left, but they were the person was made aware that they were gone in the physical body. But sometimes, I guess, if you have a traumatic death, sometimes you don't know you're dead. And once you know, it was just, there was a lot of anger there. There was an awful lot of angry, actually it was kind of spooky. It was sort of like a grade C movie. And I was, because we actually did this at midnight. I could not believe that we were there. But it was,
So it even looked black and white.
oh yes. But it worked out very well. And I know I'll probably be doing a lot more of that now.
Yeah.
And it's really not frightening.
I've met some other women, sorry to interrupt, that have been working with some Native American spirits from the days this area was taken over, that are still in a disrupted state.
There is a lot of that in different localities.
There is.
Yes, and there is actually a lot of spiritual activity that goes along all the time. And in fact, most of us have, I don't call them ghosts, because the people are basically gone. They are someplace much better. But it's thought forms. And thought forms can be very, very powerful. And they can manifest, and all kinds of interesting things can happen. It's not uncommon to have someone come to the house to visit, and all of a sudden Aunt Sadie or Uncle George is there, and just with a thought form. Yeah. Not everybody sees them, but I see them, and suddenly I'll have some information that I don't know why I have it, and it's nothing I would know. But so there's a lot of that everywhere all around us. It's a part of our natural lifespan, you know, that we carry a lot of things with us.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are trying to communicate.
And taking the thought form idea into, for instance, what Sean was mentioning, the man who asked the question, our thought forms towards other people. If
very
we
powerful.
send out something negative, it's not nothing.
It's definitely something.
Yeah.
And we really want to be very careful with our thoughts on that, because where it may feel really good for a few minutes, we're actually drawing that same energy to ourselves. And it'll kind of come back and bite you, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So you want to be really careful with our thoughts about what we're sending to other people, what we're sending to other places. Once again, it gets back to the judgment.
Yeah. Is it true that everything begins as a thought? The things we create?
I think so. I'm getting that some things just are.
Just are.
That's just what just went floating through here. But I would say, from our point of view, yes, everything begins with the thought, and then followed by intention, and then action. But, or sometimes action and then intention. But I'm told on this other level that there are some things just are.
You're writing a book, aren't you?
Well, I'm just finishing some, in fact, it just did get finished.
Okay. And what's the name of it?
It's called Up from the Ashes.
Up from the Ashes.
And it's a work of fiction. The next one I am supposed to be doing is, will be more about the metaphysical, will be more about kind of what it's like growing up different, and tying it together, because the more I see and the more I study, as unique as we all seem, we're all very much the same.
That's a good place to end it for right now. And I hope we'll have you back someday. And when will the book be out?
Well, I don't know, hopefully in the next month or two. It should be
soon. Great. Great. thank you again so
Thank
much
you.
for being here, Darlene. You've added such wonderful energy to the show and the project, the ongoing project that is this show. And I did want to give out some more numbers, actually the same numbers, before we go. I hope you all have a wonderfully energized, powerful week ahead of you. And for the people that have been here tonight, Deborah MacArthur, you can contact her through the show. Our phone number is 406-829-9162, and you can get anybody on the crew through that number. Darlene McKnight, look for her book Up From the Ashes, out in a month or two. Your number is 406-549-5818. Here at MCAT, the number is 542-MCAT. And if anybody hasn't seen the New Earth magazine, go check it out. Get it at Good Foods, get it at the Feng Shui Center. It's been wonderful to have you here, and we'll be back next week. Thanks a lot.